Hi, Samuel Leeds here, and in this video today, I've interviewed one of my success students who came on the crash course. He was in a corporate job, in the rat race, working like crazy. And in the last 18 months, he's bought 24 houses, and many of them have been no money down deals, and he's now just left the corporate world. So if you're interested in hearing the story, stay tuned. Okay, so Samuel Leeds here. I'm sat with an absolutely incredible guy, Ian Patterson.
Hello.
In my home, in Lichfield.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home.
And every time we meet up, I tend to be in a different rented home.
So this is the third I've seen.
I think it is. I think it is. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about, in a few words, a bit about your backstory, and who the heck are you,
Sure.
and when did you first decide you wanted to be a property investor?
Sure. Okay. I've been in the corporate career for 20 years. I've been in safety. So I started off my career as an engineer. Went into safety really early on in my career. Been in safety about 20 years. Worked my way up the career ladder, which is really hard. My aspiration was always to get to the top of the ladder of that, which I've sort of almost got to. Now I'm a safety director, earning a reasonable salary.
A very good salary.
Very good salary. Yeah. And that was always my intention.
What do they say? You can win the rat race, but you'll still be a rat.
You will, yeah.
You've built your way
You're still running as a rat.
So you built your way up. You're still running as a rat. You built your way up really high in the corporate world.
Yeah.
When did you think, you know what, this actually sucks? I'm being paid, nice fat wage, 6 figures, but working every day under the sun almost, and really long hours. When did you decide, you know what, I want some financial freedom in my life?
So there's a few things. There's two things I'll talk about. So I worked on some fantastic projects. So I built Heathrow Terminal 5, you know that? The Olympics, I went on to the Olympics. I was on that for 5 years building that, which is great. And some fantastic projects over the years. But I found that, my dad, when he was in a career, he worked from 9 to 5 for 40 years. And it was great. He loved that. I found myself working from 5 till 9, virtually every day.
5 till 9.
So I get up at 5 o'clock.
Not 4 hours.
No.
Oh, the other way.
The other way. So I'll get up at 5 in the morning, get on the train, go to work, do my hours in the work, get on the train, come home, get home at 9 o'clock. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And then you have the weekends. You have the weekends just to sleep.
Weekends with the wife, the kids, and sleep, recover, and try to do everything else you're trying to do.
Insane. So did you like your job? Because you still light up a little bit when you talk about the Olympics and some of the stuff that you've done.
Yeah, so I love what I do. I love being involved in safety.
You just didn't like working from 5 till 9.
So safety, you can really make a difference in people's lives and organisations' lives. It's really positive.
So when did you realise then I'm done with corporate world?
So two things. One was when I got put at risk of redundancy.
Risk of redundancy.
Yeah. So I realised that my job's not safe. It's no safer than anyone else's.
Yeah.
And suddenly that. Yourself, it doesn't matter how much you earn in life, if you're relying on exchanging time for income, then it's always a fragile existence. As soon as you stop that, no matter what you earn, it just means if you earn more, it just means your mortgage is bigger, your debts are bigger, you've got a bigger car, you've got more expenses, that's it. And as soon as that stops, you've got nothing to rely on. So I realised that I needed something to rely on, and that was a real key point in my life when I thought I need to do something different.
Sometimes it's easy to think that a job is safe, but running your own business or being an investor is risky. But actually a job can be pretty risky, right?
Sure.
Because you can get made redundant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, at least if you have your own business or you're an investor, at least you're responsible for your income, and at least you're the person that determines your future and things like that. Because you create your own economy. But when you're working in a job, you're at someone else's mercy, right? So so that was one thing.
There's a strange thing of having a job is you can't run anything else on the side, which could conflict with what you do.
You did though.
So I did.
But it's difficult, right?
It's difficult, yeah.
I'm going to ask you about time management in a minute. So that was one reason. What was the other reason that made you want to...
The other reason is doing that commute every day, sitting on the train every day and sitting on my backside every day. I developed diabetes, which is a bit left field. Nobody in the family's got it. Nobody in my family's got it. Nobody in history's got it. So...
You think that was partly because of sitting on the train all day?
Yeah, I think so. Not really taking care of myself. Sitting down all day and, not exercising, not doing the things that I want to do outside probably caused that.
So you thought, you know what? Forget this. I've got redundancy threats. I'm working like crazy. I need a plan B.
I need to do something different.
And was it January 2017? We spent 2 days together at the crash course.
17, we did the crash course. Yeah.
What was the date?
It was the 13th and 14th.
Life changing 2 days.
Absolutely.
Tell us what happened after then.
So there's a number of strategies I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
So can I go back before that?
Yeah, because
I'd already decided before that I wanted to invest in property.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah.
I'd done a few, I bought my own property before, I flipped a few properties, so I knew that was the right thing to do, but I didn't really know how to do it properly. Yeah. So the flips weren't that successful. I then decided on buying 3 properties. So I used a bit of money straight up, bought 3 properties, all off plan.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. 2 of them have completed a few months ago. 1 of them is still not complete.
Ouch.
And money tied up for a long, long time. Yeah. Really bad.
So okay. So you realised you wanted to get into property.
I realised I wanted to get into property. Didn't really know how to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wasted a load of money initially. Yeah. And tied it up.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel?
I was, gutted.
Did it put you off property, or did you?
No, it didn't at all.
Because you knew that the problem was with your strategy, not with property itself.
Yeah, that'd be a good long-term, slow burn investment. Yeah. And I think my original plan was to have some security long-term.
Sure. So
you'll still make security long-term.
You'll still make money. It's just not as good as it could have been.
Yeah, and I couldn't have got that money out. It's tied up for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So then, I came to the crash course beginning of 2017.
How did you feel?
Out some other strategies.
How did you feel when you came to the crash course? When you saw what other people doing and you heard about the different strategies and lease option agreements and all that kind of stuff, what were you thinking? Were you thinking, this is for me? Did you think that sounds too good to be true? What was going on?
No, I think I just saw the light.
You saw the light?
Yeah.
And
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
And until you know these things, then you know what's possible.
And I remember as well, that was a really magical 2 days because like Imtiaz was there and there was some really magical moments there.
Yeah, I was still in touch with her.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. 2 years later.
Almost. So I think you meet friends there that last with you forever.
Yeah. So what happened next then after the crash course?
I changed my strategy. I started looking at lease options. I started looking at HMOs. I bought HMO straight after that crash course in Stoke.
Yeah.
And then I realised my strategy was probably lease options was better for me because it didn't involve that big chunk of cash up front.
Yeah.
And I found that I could do that easy, get it rented straight away, and the income and start.
And again, lease option agreements like it's no property buying properties without any money. But it's hard. You've got to put work in. You've got to find it. So you're now financially free.
Correct.
Quit your job, leaving next month.
Yeah.
That deserves a high five, by the way.
Thank you.
Boom. And I think the fact that you've done that while working in the corporate world and having very little time is incredible. So how does that happen?
It worked in 2 ways. So
tell me how.
Working with a job allowed me to have the income to. So what have I earned in my property income? Just got reinvested back in.
Sure. So you weren't relying on it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it snowballed quite quickly.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
But for you to be able to leave your job, because again, you're on a 6-figure salary in the corporate world, it's not like, for some people I can say, you just need one really good HMO, you'd be making £1,500 a month or whatever, and then you can leave. But for you, you needed a bit more than that. So how did you find the time to build up because you've got how many properties have you got now, lease options and HMOs all of them combined?
24 altogether.
24? How did you find the time to purchase 24 properties in the last 18 months with that kind of a corporate job?
So I sit on the train for a few hours each day.
Right.
Which is time. So I thought of a while ago, while I'm travelling to London every day, and I travel to London every day on the train, maybe I need to do something with this time. Yeah. So this was a seed several years ago, and I thought about doing extra degrees and masters, and then I discovered property, and that was my business time.
Yeah.
On the train.
Love that.
And of course weekends and days off was spent.
It would be very easy though for you to have made the excuse, I'm working from 5 AM until 9 PM. I haven't got any time. It'd be very easy to do that, but you were an opportunist and you made the time, right?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
It's that time on the train. And I'll be sitting going to work. Yeah. So I made that time count.
Yeah. Tell us about the figures of the maybe the HMOs or the lease option agreements, or kind of what sort of returns you were getting, and give me some case studies.
All different.
Yeah.
So my rules for lease options is I wouldn't touch them on a single let unless they return £250 a month.
So £250 a month cash flow as a minimum.
Yeah.
And is that after all the costs of management and things like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely cash flow.
Great. So you want a profit of £250 a month. Love it.
That's the rules.
Yeah.
And I prefer to go for single lets.
Yeah.
Get people in for long term. No turnover. So sticking
No
that, so it's a
around.
guaranteed income.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
HMOs, so I've only got 2 HMOs. One's a lease option and one's one that I purchased.
Are they both in Stoke?
No, one's in Stoke, one's in Telford.
Cool.
One cash flow is about 600 or 700 a month.
Yeah.
One in Stoke, and the one in Telford turns over profits about 1,000 a month.
Wow, that's
so
great.
Good. 5-bedroom HMO.
That's great.
As a lease option.
So the one in Stoke then, the one that went straight after the crash course.
Yeah.
I know that the refurb dragged on. I think it did. It was
the refurb dragged on a bit.
Yeah.
Because of the builders at the time.
Yeah. That's what I was referring to. I know there was a few.
And there seemed to be a glut of rooms coming available in Stoke at the time, so it took a long time to fill.
Sure. But right now, how much did you put in? How much did you buy the house for?
So it's really easy maths. It was bought for 100,000.
Yeah.
So 25 grand.
Yeah.
Purchase price.
Yeah.
In a deposit, 75 mortgage, and then it was probably about 2.5 grand for refurb.
Oh, so it's very cheap then.
Furniture, 3.5 furniture.
Yeah. So you put down a total of around about 33 grand.
33 is probably 33, 35 probably all in, I would say.
With the fees and stuff.
With
So
fees
35
and
grand in.
Yeah.
And you're making how much profit now?
About 650, I would say.
650 a
profit.
month. So the return on investment on that is going to be, have you worked it out already?
Yeah, it's probably about 20%, I would guess.
Yeah, I'd say so at least, which is good.
Yeah.
And then the Telford one, you're getting £1,000 a month off that one.
Yeah, but that's slightly different.
Go on, tell me about that one.
So that's a portfolio. So I realised quite quickly that once you know how to do a portfolio, once you know how to do a lease option, instead of doing one, which you can do, you can cash flow £250. The advantage is to buy multiple together.
Clever.
And as you know, landlords are looking at getting out.
Yeah.
Uneducated landlords are getting out.
Very uneducated landlords.
Because of Section 24.
Yeah. Brexit.
Brexit. Yeah, it's a bit of uncertainty. They don't know what to do, so landlords are selling up. So there's a bit of a niche there to buy portfolios under lease options. So I've sort of switched strategy. Instead of buying one, I now buy sort of multiple.
Love that. That's so clever. Rather than trying to find, because also it's the same amount of work to find one vendor and buy one property on a lease option agreement than it is to buy 5 or 10 at a time.
Absolutely.
So that's really neat.
So I did a few single ones, then I did 2 as a portfolio, which is quite easy.
Yeah.
Not much difficult. And then I did 3, and I did 11. So the one in Telford is a portfolio of 11.
Incredible. Where do you find these landlords from, and how do you convince them to sell their portfolio to you?
I think there's a lot of landlords I've spoke to that are not interested.
Yeah.
They just want a straight sale or just get out of property altogether by selling. But I think it's about building that relationship with them.
How do you do that though? So what's your strategy?
I think I network well.
You go to a lot of the property networking events.
Property networking events.
Spend quite a bit of time at my stuff, going to the circle and
absolutely
things like that. Yeah,
and that's a great network to have.
Yeah,
and there's landlords that go to that as well.
Yeah,
and sometimes people go to that for a reason.
True.
And many reasons. They're not just looking to expand the portfolio. Some of them are looking to sell.
Yeah.
And there's obviously estate agents. I think once you speak to an estate agent once about a portfolio, then they tend to come back to you because nobody's interested in that.
Yeah.
And of course, there's all the Facebook groups as well. You've got a great Facebook group.
Yeah.
There's other Facebook groups out there as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of people that advertise stuff.
Do you think the key is to just talk to people?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to people.
I think property is a relationship business.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Despite there's numbers that back it up.
Yeah.
But once you've got that relationship, then that's great.
So when did you hand your notice in for your job?
So it'll be 2 months ago today.
And you gave 3 months notice?
3 months notice.
Oh, that's
finish
so good.
Next month, yeah.
And you love your job in one sense. You love safety.
Yeah,
and you're going to continue doing that.
Absolutely.
But you're just going to do it on your terms.
Yeah.
So tell us what your plans are for the future then.
So in terms of safety, I think there's a big gap in the property market for investors, developers, builders that really don't understand what's required.
Yeah.
Particularly the small builders, small investors, around, CDM is a good topic, isn't it? So CDM changed quite significantly a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you're doing a domestic renovation or doing it for commercial profit as a landlord, then CDM applies. So it never used to apply, now it does.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that clients need to do, and if you're an investor, you're a client. You need to do certain things to make sure you don't take on all the responsibilities that the builder should generally take on.
Sure. So say I'm an investor, and let's say hypothetically I'm buying, I don't know, a castle.
For argument's sake.
For argument's sake.
Yeah.
And I say to you, I'm a bit unsure about the whole safety aspect to it. How can you help? What would you say?
Well, I'd come and work with you and advise you what you need to do.
Great.
Quite simply.
So if someone's buying just a HMO and they've got some builders on site, would they need really to talk to someone like you?
Yeah, in theory, yeah. Unless they know about safety and what the rules are.
So if you're watching this and you don't know about safety, and you're buying properties and you're employing builders, you really need to talk to Ian. Is that right?
Yeah, you can give it a shot.
How do we get in touch with you, Ian?
So I can give you my details, my email address.
Which is?
Ian@jipproperty.co.uk.
Which will be in the description below.
In the description.
Excellent. It's you messaged me out the blue, I think a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And you said, I know you're trying to help 50 people become financially free this year. You're on 21 or whatever. You can add another one.
Yeah.
So I can now add another one to the tally chart.
Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
officially financially free. What sort of income level have you got coming in through property now, if you don't mind me asking that personal question?
In terms of income, it's about £6,000 a month.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's not where I want to be, but
but it's enough to quit your job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
£6,000 a month, passive income coming through property.
Passive income, absolute cash flow.
Brilliant.
Great cash flow, yeah.
Brilliant. And you're quite a conservative guy as well, so I can believe that it really is £6,000 plus, which is fantastic. Well, it's a real pleasure. It's been really good to get to know you over the last 18 months.
Absolutely.
Likewise. Thanks so much for coming on. Have you got any final words of advice or encouragement to someone watching that? Maybe they're like you 18 months ago, where they've been burned with property in the past, or they've had some bad experience, and now they're thinking, I really want to do this, but they're just unsure where to start, or they're feeling a little bit unmotivated. What would you say to them?
I think you just got to look at the big picture. What do you want out of life? If you want to work for an employer all your life, then that's fine. And some people like that. But you need to think about, what is the big picture? What do you want to do in life? And then you can overcome your challenges if you focus on the big picture.
Excellent.
I would say.
Excellent. Ian, thanks so much, bro.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon.
Great to see you again.
God bless.
Take care.
Thank you so much for watching. If you benefited from that video, please do share it with your family and friends. For more videos like it, you can watch right here. And if you'd like to spend 2 days with me at the Property Investors Crash Course, watch this video, see what happens. But whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe right here, and I'll see you next time.